What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? And welcome back here today to another video. And today's one is going to be a first timer on the channel. Today we are going to be doing start bench cut with 3 NBA players. So we will have 7 scenarios of start bench cut between 3 NBA players. These were all taken from an Instagram account named startbenchcut_NBA. I will leave a link to his account in the description below. So if you guys enjoy these, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. Alright, so I do have 7 laid out, and the first one is Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, and Kemba Walker. Now I'm going to be doing these for basically who's the better player overall, which I'm taking in regular season, and who do I think can help me the most in the playoffs, who can win me Game 7 of the NBA Finals mainly. So let's get into this. So I'm going to take playoff experience, I'm going to take defense, I'm going to take as well as he fit with, if he's been on multiple teams, how well it fits, how well is his spacing, how well is he as a playmaker, can he create his own shot. So yeah, the first one is Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, and Kemba Walker. So this game is basically ranking these players 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is who you would start, number 2 is who you'd bench, and number 3 is who you'd cut. So this is tough. So I think my number 1 is I'm going to start Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has the most playoff experience out of any one of these players. He's the best defensive player by far out of any of these 3 players. He is the worst three-point shooter out of any of these 3 players. He's the best at getting to the line. He's up there with, I'm sure I'd rather have Kemba Walker at kind of scoring at the rim, but I will definitely take Jimmy Butler from there. Jimmy Butler is a solid mid-range shooter. Not great, but he's solid from there. And I think he's just a more complete player here. I think he's a great playmaker. And like I said, his defense is a lot better of any of these players' defense. I think like the margin between Butler's defense is way larger than between Booker and Kemba, then Booker and Kemba's offense is between Jimmy's offense. So I'm going to start Jimmy Butler, okay? Now, this is tough between Devin Booker and Kemba Walker. Devin Booker has had a better 2019-20, definitely on the offensive end. Kemba had his ups and downs. He started off pretty hot, then he had his hot streak. Then he kind of ended it a little bit struggling, or he was struggling a little bit. They're both not particularly good defenders. Devin Booker can be okay when he wants to try, but he's never been on a winning team. That's something you kind of have to take into consideration. And honestly, this is Kemba's second good team that he's been on when he made it to the playoffs with the Hornets in, 2015. So this is really tough between Kemba and Booker. And I think if you get Booker in the playoffs, he would play really well. This is tough. This is already a tough one because I think they're very similar in kind of where you'd rank them. So I'm starting Jimmy Butler. Do I want to bench or do I want to cut? Oh, Kemba Walker or Devin Booker. You know what? Kemba was an all-star this year. He was an all-star starter this year. Devin Booker was an all-star replacement for Damian Lillard. But I'm not going to take the all-star game and say, you know what? Just because Kemba Walker's just been better for so long, I'm going to slightly bench Kemba Walker and cut Devin Booker. It is very close, but that is what I'm going with. Just because the experience of Kemba, and I think I trust them going through the regular season, or just at least taking me to a Game 7 of a Finals and winning it. So I'm going to do that, and I think the winning just out-trumps Booker a little bit. But he's been in better scenarios. At least his 1 year in Boston has been better than any of the years Booker has been in Phoenix. So let's go over here to the next one, and we have KarlAnthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Kristaps Porzingis. So I'm starting KarlAnthony Towns. I think that's a pretty obvious one there. Actually, this one is pretty easy, I think. At least it's going to be easier for me than the previous one. I'm going to start Cat. He's the more complete offensive player on here. Obviously, he's the worst defensive player, but I think his offense just trumps any of these players' offense, or at least it's a lot better than Rudy Gobert. He's a lot more versatile. Not as much to Kristaps, but I'm gonna slightly take Cat as my starter over Gobert, who I am going to bench, and I'm going to cut Kristaps. Kristaps, though, is great. Obviously, it's not because I'm cutting him. It's because he's bad. He's phenomenal. He's just, I think, the worst out of these 3. He's been hurt last year. He obviously didn't play at all. This year was his first year back. I don't know. He's never played in the playoffs before, so you really don't know. Rudy Gobert has won a playoff series before. Cat, he's made it to the playoffs once, but I think he's been universally known as better than Kristaps. Both these players were from the 2015 draft class. So, yeah, I'm going to start Cat, bench Gobert, cut Kristaps. Okay. So, Lillard, Russ, Doncic. All right, this one might be tough. Actually, I think I figured it out. So, just based... Russ has made it to the conference finals. So has Dame. So, it's going to be hard to start Luka here. All right. I think I know what I'm doing so far. So, It's crazy that, well, I guess Russ has made it to the finals as well, so what do I want here? I think I'm going to start Damian Lillard, cut Doncic, or no, start Dame, bench Doncic, cut Dame. I think that's, or cut Westbrook, excuse me. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in this order, start Lillard, bench Luka, cut Russ. Oh, this is tough, though. So, Dame has made it to a conference finals once. They got swept by the Warriors. This year, he played phenomenal. He was playing like an MVP guy if his team was good, but his team wasn't very good. But I think I'm going to slightly take Dame over Luka due to the playoff experience. Luka, I'm already going to put in front of Russ right now because I think Luka is already a top 10 player in the NBA. I don't think Russ is a top 10 player anymore. I think Russ is a phenomenal player. He was a deserving All-Star this year. He's a deserving All-NBA player this year. But I am going to go with Luka as my bench and then cut Russ. Doesn't mean Russ is bad. It's just I don't know if I'll trust Russ's ability not to shoot the ball in the playoffs, or just he can't hit threes. He can't. And I love the system or the game style they are going with now. Obviously, spread it out, let Russ get to the hoop. But I feel like teams in the playoffs can adapt to that. They can kind of game plan for that. So I'm gonna take Russ. I'm gonna cut Russ, bench Luka, start Dame. All right. So that one was a little bit tough. Let's go to this next one. All right. So this one is all in their prime. So we got a couple legends in here. So it's AI, Wade, and Harden. I think I know what I want to do here. So I'm going to start Dwayne Wade. I think Dwayne Wade is the best player on this list. Dwayne Wade was also by far the best defender on this list. And you could argue that he's kind of the more efficient, lethal offensive player here. So I'm going to start Dwayne Wade. Now, it was tough to either bench Harden or AI. I'm going to bench Harden, and I'm going to cut AI. Here's the reason why. I think Harden recently has been better of a defender than AI was in his career. Now, AI obviously was a shorter player and brought a pretty mediocre Sixers team to the finals. Yes, I agree. But I think Harden could have had one or two finals appearances if he just didn't have the misfortune of going up against the greatest team of all time or the most stacked roster of all time, having 3 top 15 players and another top 25 player. And then having 2 top 5 players. How many teams have 2 top 5 players? It's really hard to get that. And then you have to go up against another top 15 player who's arguably the second greatest shooter of all time in Klay Thompson, and one of the great all-around stretch forward playmakers in Draymond Green, who was a top 25 player at that time. So I am going to go Harden as my 2, and I'm going to go AI as a 3. And that one was tough. But yeah, I am going to choose. Maybe this is a little bit recency bias here, just because we haven't seen AI play. Maybe I will go AI, bench AI. No, I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm going to bench Harden, cut AI. That one was tough. So the next one, we got Tatum, Trae Young, Zach LaVine. Oh, okay. All right, this one is going to be easy for me. I'm actually going to do it in that order. I'm going to start Tatum, bench Trae Young, cut Zach LaVine. All 3 players are good. The reason I'm taking Tatum over Trae Young is the two-way aspect. He's a whole lot better of a defender. He's arguably getting into that kind of, not elite range, but really good range that you'd kind of feel comfortable him guarding anybody in the league. Obviously, LeBron could still beat him, or KD, or Kawhi, but you'd at least feel you have trust in him guarding them one-on-one. He's a fantastic offensive player now. He averaged, 23 points around that this year, and he's just getting better. He's only 21. Trae Young, the reason he's not 1 is because of his defense, and obviously we haven't seen him on a good team yet. So he's still fine, and he's a top 20 player in the NBA probably already, or top 25. It's just he's going to be here at the bench. And then Zach LaVine, he's similar to Trae Young. It's just I don't think he's as good as an offensive player as Trae Young. They're both bad defensively. Both of them have not made it to the playoffs, and I would just take I'm taking Trae Young over Zach LaVine due to him just being a better offensive player. So that one was fairly easy compared to this one was a little bit tough. So, second to last one, we got Derrick Rose, D'Lo, and Chris Paul. Definitely an easy start. I am starting Chris Paul. Do I want to bench D'Lo or Rose? I'm gonna start Chris Paul. I'm gonna bench D'Lo, and I'm gonna cut Derrick Rose. Yeah, I feel comfortable. Definitely right now, I would have Chris Paul on my team over D'Lo. Better of a defender. I would say he's a more efficient player. He kind of knows where he's better at. He's arguably the best mid-range shooter in the NBA. He's definitely has one of the best basketball IQs, if not the best or highest basketball IQ in the NBA, and I'm taking him as my start. it was close between D'Lo and Rose, and the reason why you might be like, oh, why is that so close? I think if Rose kind of had the same volume as D'Lo, their numbers would be similar. I would say Rose is a better defender as well, but, you know, I'll take D'Lo's kind of better shot creating and three-point shooting than Rose. But that was close. Definitely Rose and D'Lo were close, but I'm going to start Chris Paul, bench D'Lo, and cut D-Rose. So the final one here is a duos. So this one will be kind of fun. So we have D-Book and DeAndre Ayton, Trae Young and John Collins, and then De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley. So I already know who I'm cutting. I'm going to cut Fox and Bagley. Fox, probably, so he's obviously the number one here with Booker and Young, and he's probably the worst out of the three. He's still a great player. You guys know I love De'Aaron Fox, but I'm going to say I would not rank him higher than Trae Young or Devin Booker, and Marvin Bagley's definitely the worst player out of the three between him, Collins, and Ayton. So I'm definitely cutting the Kings. Definitely cutting the Kings. So now we got to see here, do we want to start D-Book and DeAndre Ayton, I don't know why I said D-Ayton, or John Collins and Trae Young. This is tough. I'd rather have Devin Booker over Trae Young. I think so. That's close. And would I rather have Collins over Ayton? I got to think about this one. All right. I think I'm going to go with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. So this duo, horrible defensively. Trae Young, we know how bad of a defender he is. John Collins isn't a very good defender either. Both of them are incredible offensive players, though. Collins is really good inside and can space the floor. Trae Young, we know how good he is on the offensive end. Devin Booker, overall, I would say is a better defender than Trae Young, and Ayton is a better defender than John Collins. I'll say this duo is good, but they're definitely a better defensive duo than Collins and Trae Young. What we've seen 2 years out of this duo, and we've seen 2 years out of this duo. This duo has won more games. Both of these teams have not been good, but this duo has been better. They weren't better last year, but they are better this year. And I think their noticeable difference this year trumps their difference last year. So I'm gonna start Booker and Ayton and bench Collins and Young and cut Bagley and Fox, I think. So that is going to be it. For this one, I started Chris Paul, bench D'Lo, cut Derrick Rose. This one, I did it in order. Start Tatum, bench Trae Young, cut Zach LaVine. I started Wade. This one was close, but I benched Harden and then cut AI. And then for this one, I started Dame, benched Luka, cut Russ. This one, I started Cat, benched Gobert, cut KP. And then, for KP in the playoffs, though, he could be more valuable than Gobert. Ooh, do I want to switch that up? I'll go with my God. But, yeah, you could make an argument for Kristaps' bench, definitely. And then for this one, I went start Butler, bench Kemba, cut Devin Booker. So, that is going to be for me. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this, because if you did, I'm definitely down to do another video off this if you thought it was interesting. And let me know, because there was 7 of them here. Maybe pick 2 out of the 7 I did, and let me know what you would do in the comments below. Or if you want to do all 7, that would be cool. I love reading through all your guys' opinions as well. So, yeah, that is going to be for me, though. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.